Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw, and today I'm answering your questions, guys, from the 750 Q&A special. So anyways, I'm about to start answering questions. As you guys always know, I answer from the first questions asked to the last one. So if your question is getting answered later in the video and you don't like that, then make sure you get your questions in quicker. Anyways, guys, let's jump off into answering your questions. Strong Boys 19 starting us off saying, what are your favorite concept albums? Any concept album done by Dream Theater is really good. Keziah from Protest the Hero, the first release, was considered a concept album. I'm going to have to say Between the Buried and Me, Parallax 2 is kind of a concept album, not necessarily, but there's a lot of different albums that I like that are considered concept or maybe concept, something like that, but definitely Dream Theater and Keziah and I'm thinking Between the Buried and Me, Parallax 2. But yeah, I enjoy concept albums. There's something different to listen to than regular albums, so I always enjoy that. Your next question, which albums got you into music? Into music in general, just listening to all different stuff throughout the radio, but getting into metal, the first time getting into metal when I was really little was listening to AC/DC Back in Black. Getting into it the second time was when I heard Metallica's One, bought And Justice for All, and then my friends really started to introduce me to other bands, more modern bands, like after 2000, like All That Remains, Killswitch Engage, Trivium, stuff like that. But it was just listening to a bunch of different stuff my friends was throwing at me, and so that's really got me into the metal. Now, music in general, like I said, just listening to different stuff on the radio and stuff, and just really going, I like that, I don't like that, figuring stuff out. Your last question, do you think there are some modern metal bands that bring back original roots from classic metal genres? And I have to say, yes, because there are some bands that maybe have a kind of an idea of a song or throw a riff into a song that sounds very like back in the day type metal, or just sounds like something you'd hear like back in the 80s, like you're hearing in 2013. Sounds like it was written back in the 80s. There's even a band, I can't remember off the top of my head, you probably guys probably know what band I'm talking about, but there's a particular band that sounds exactly like AC/DC, and they're releasing music today, and they sound exactly like AC/DC back in the 80s and 70s, and so yes, I feel the fact that it's probably needed to remind all these new people that are coming into metal to really realize this is the kind of stuff we listened to back in the day, and this is the kind of how it was back in the day. And I enjoy the fact that there are bands that bring kind of the old concepts of old metal, or bands that just take the whole entire idea of old metal and make it their own and make it to what they're putting out today in 2013 and before and on. So yes, I think it's a very good thing. Yankee Boy 339, top 10 favorite albums of the year. I will be doing a video, of course, at the end of this year, top 10 metal albums of 2013. So you'll get that. You'll get your question answered then. But also, what's your opinion on Breaking Bad? I've seen only clips and pieces of the show. I've never seen the show. You can hate me if you want. I'm not been really interested in the show. I hear it's really good. I may get into it one day, but for right now, I'm more into playing Xbox and watching Law and Order SVU and basically DVRing whatever is on TV, but I definitely might check into it at some point. Thomas Rockaholic 11, another reviewer. Strong Boys was, of course, another reviewer, but Thomas Rockaholic, favorite guitar make. I definitely have to say that it's Les Paul, because I have a guitar that looks exactly like a Les Paul, but it's a Les Paul replica. It's an Arbor guitar. Les Paul, just like that, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it plays, definitely Les Paul is my favorite guitar make for sure. Of course, there's a bunch of like more, guitar makes that back into metal that I like, but I think my favorite design is definitely Les Paul. Top 5 metal bands formed in the 2000s. I'm going to answer this question as bands that have put out their first material after 2000, because I'm not 100% sure, because usually bands form years before they put out material. So I'm going to go with bands that have put out material after 2000. Sylosis, Scale the Summit, Between the Buried and Me, Trivium, and Protest the Hero. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones, like I said, but those are top of my head. Are you going to be doing live streams on your channel? Yes, I do want to. Not sure when, and hopefully I can get people to figure out a schedule. I'm not going to be doing like once a week or something like that, but I definitely want to do live streams at some point. The Album Man, what's up, man? What's up? What is your favorite live album? Metallica S&M, because Metallica Seattle 1989 is not considered a live album. It's a DVD. But definitely Metallica S&M. My favorite. What would be your least favorite 80s Metallica song? Definitely off the top of my head, it's Escape. that's easily the easy go-to song if you're asked this question to a Metallica fan. But every other song is great to me. But Escape, it's good, but it's not as on the same level as anything else. So, lastly, as I always like to ask something a bit different. I like this question. Which would win in a battle? A giant octopus or a giant squid? Which would win in a battle? And the answer is neither, because Liam Neeson would yell, "Release the Kraken." And then the Kraken comes and destroys them, so the Kraken wins. So, yeah. Nicholas Unger said, I adhere to the question, what's your favorite concept rock opera album? I've already answered that question, but yes, concept albums are good. Just not 100% sure which one's my favorite, but I like a lot of different varieties of concept albums. Counterbeat Patrick, a.k.a. Counterbeat74. What is up, man? What is up? Thanks for the shout-out. Congratulations. What are your favorite 5 albums that have been released in the last 5 years? Man, that's a really hard question. 5 years of... thinking out what's the 5 albums of 5 years, man. It's hard enough doing top 10 albums of the year, let alone what's your favorite 5 albums of the last 5 years. I'm going to answer off the top of my head. Skella Summit, The Migration, Protest the Heroes, Gorillaz, Between the Bear to Me, The Parallax 2. Man. Metallica Death Magnetic is 2008. 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I'll say Megadeth Endgame. I'll say that. There's a bunch of albums. Trust me. I just nailed off the top of my head. There's a bunch more I could probably say. But yeah, that's a hard question. Hey, good job, Counterbeat. You really gave me a hard question there. Damn. Okay, SG Metal Madness. 3 questions. Favorite Star Wars episode? Episode 5. But I have to say, there's a lot of crap for this, but Episode 3, the last one, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, that battle, God, it's amazing. I know people don't like, the prequels, but man, like I saw that in theaters and I rewatched that movie all the time. Well, not recently, but I've seen it so many times because I love that movie. People could hate all they want, but if Metallica rewrote the soundtrack for any movie, which movie would you choose? The Avengers. I can't think of another movie they could rewrite a soundtrack for. So I say The Avengers because I love that movie to death. So put 2 and 2 together, see what happens. It could be a disaster, but just winging it. Okay, thoughts on Rob Trujillo not fitting in with Metallica like Jason and Cliff did. I've seen this a lot of people talking about this whole thing about Rob not fitting in, and here's the thing. The Metallica that Cliff was in was completely different than the Metallica Rob's in. Most of the time when Jason was with Metallica, it's a completely different Metallica than Rob's in today. The Metallica that Rob's in today is family comes first, band comes second. That's how they view it. And so whenever they go out on tour, or whenever they go do shows, most of the time they have their family along with them because they gotta, bring the family and they have to be more social with the family than, just leaving them home for 6 to 8 months at a time. That World Magnetic tour they did for Death Magnetic was probably half the shows their families was with them at some point or another. So, yeah, but I'd say he fits in with the Metallica now. Would he have fit in when they were in the Metallica Cliff was around, or Jason, most of the time? Probably not. But I think Rob fits in because he has the same mindset as them. He wants to spend more time with his family and all that stuff. So, I feel like he fits in with what he is now. Jake Rattlehead 1. Favorite new thrash bands? Evil, Silosis, Revocation. New bands, man, new. I don't know any new particular bands off the top of my head except for those 3, but those 3 really have some great thrash coming out from them, and they're just destroying and wrecking shit. So definitely those 3. Did you hear Warbringer's new album? What did you think? I've not heard the new album. Must have skipped over. I've seen them live way back. I didn't know who they were, but they were good live. But I've not heard the album. I might look into it. Number 3, Kirk Hammett or Dave Mustaine? IMO. In my own opinion, I'd pick Dave. I'm going to separate this, not trying to be biased, because I'm not going to be that biased person, because I'm trying to stay away from it. So, if you're going to go with melodic guitar solo, Kirk Hammett. If you're going to go with shredding guitar solo, Dave Mustaine. That's how it is. Sorry if that's not the way you want me to answer that, but I don't want to be biased. I don't want to try to be that guy who's biased all the time. And sorry if I sound biased earlier. Metallica. I'm trying to stay away from that whole thing. I'm trying to talk more about more bands and stuff and be more open about other stuff, which I have been, which that's good. Nails in the Neck. Are you a big Gears of War fan? I read that wrong. Yes, I am. That's why the name Chainsaw. It was Chainsaw Gears 12 before I changed it to Chainsaw. Actually, Chainsaw Gears 12 was a gamer tag on Xbox Live, and I, named it after Gears of War. If so, which game is the favorite in the series? Story-wise, Gears 1. Gameplay-wise, Gears 3. Gears of War Judgment, even though a lot of people didn't like that compared to the trilogy, but Gears of War Judgment's a close second. But story-wise, Gears 1. Gameplay-wise, Gears 3. So yeah, gaming question's pretty good. EQP TV, what's up, man? What's up? What albums do you consider perfect? Man, people with these questions say perfect. Man, there's a couple that I may consider perfect, but there's so many albums that I don't consider perfect, but they're amazing, beautiful, just epic. There's very few albums I consider to be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna say these get out of the way first. Metallica's Kill 'Em All through Master of Puppets. And Justice for All might be there, but the production is making me not say it's perfect. In my own opinion, this is opinion. This is not I'm saying these are perfect albums. Scale the Summit, The Migration, for sure. I have to say this because I really think that I've been listening to it a lot lately. Sylosis, Monolith, 2012. I love that release. Protest the Hero, Skrillex. Man, it's a hard question. It really is, but it's really hard to answer that question. But like I said, there's so many more albums that I can name that are not perfect, but they're very close, and I think they should be up there in the top metal albums of all time, or top metal albums of my opinion, or whatever. What do you think of the Deftones? I've heard that a band name. I've heard a couple of their stuff. I'm not really necessarily a fan, but I do enjoy their songs when I do hear them from time to time. Max, another reviewer, what's up, man? What was your first album you've ever owned? I never really owned it because I didn't buy it, but my dad gave it to me. AC/DC Back in Black. So I never said I didn't buy it, but he gave it to me. Who inspired you to make reviews? I've kind of answered this a long time ago, but this is a very interesting question because it wasn't like another review or anything like that. It was a guy who did a one-off review of the day that Metallica's Death Magnetic came out, and he reviewed it, and I saw it like almost a year later, right before I started to do my kind of Metallica discography back in 2009, back when, the video was very bad, and my personality was like, Metallica, it's really bad. But just watching that video and basically him talking about just his thoughts on the album just made me kind of want just to do it. So, yeah, and then I got back into reviewing in 2012. Not necessarily of that video again, but basically just me remembering that I kind of did reviews before, and I only talked about Metallica, so I kind of wanted to expand me reviewing instead of Metallica, just review some other stuff. So, yeah, best bands you've ever seen live. I'm going to exclude Metallica out of this. Between the Bear and Me, that third time on October 24th of this year, 2013, for Parallax to its entirety. Oh my God! After the Burial, they were a third band to open up Whitechapel. Whitechapel was really good. Man, Job for a Cowboy was good seeing live as well. Man, The Faceless was good. Trivium, All That Remains, all that remains twice. I'm gonna see Trivium again, and later this month in November 2013. Yeah, there's probably a few. There might be a few more, but yeah, those are really good bands I saw live. Metal Art 456, congrats on 750. What is your current favorite band at the moment? It's a band called Daylight Dies, and not a lot of people know about that band at all. Like, they know of the song Daylight Dies from Killswitch Engage. I think it's the song. But Daylight Dies, the band, is just an amazing band that people just don't know about, and I really want to start reviewing their stuff at some point. They're an amazing band. I'd highly recommend check out Daylight Dies. What's the one band you want to see live that you haven't yet? Scale the Summit, Protest the Hero. Those are the two bands off the top of my head I can think of that I want to see really, really bad. Okay, we're winding down here. Iron Opeth 89. Will you do the Warbringer discography? Probably not. Like I said, I've seen them live, but probably not. Yeah, I got other stuff. I got Mastodon to finish up, and I got other stuff I'm currently thinking about doing. What's your number one album of this year? I don't know 100% sure. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a top 10 albums of 2012 metal albums, so 2013, sorry. So you'll be finding out then. It's going to be a harder thing. Where do you go to download leaked albums, classified information? And your last question, headphones of choice. I don't necessarily have a headphones of choice, but it's It's just like whatever headphones I can afford at the time. I more like the headphones that go around your head and you can listen to the bass and listen to the music better. But I can listen to headphones like that, or little headphones you get like from my iPhone case, which I'm recording from the iPhone now. But not necessarily, there's no really choice. It's just I'd rather have the bigger headphones rather than the smaller plug in your ear, the big ones. So that wraps it up, guys. Thank you guys for watching. That is the 750 Q&A subs answering your question, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon with another review. And the next Q&A will probably be at 1,000 subs, so hope I get there at some point. If not, you know, it is what it is. But it was just a surprise to get the 750 subs anyways. But like, thank you guys for asking me questions, and I hope you guys enjoyed my answers. And I'll see you guys soon, like I said, with another review. See ya.